Hello and welcome to Behind the Plastic, a show where toy photographers interview toy photographers about toy photography. I'm Zach. This is Jay. That's Sully. Guys, would you like to say hello?
Yes, hello.
And what Sully and Jay are referencing is our guest today, a jack of all trades. Everybody, please welcome Jedi Jack!
Jedi Jack!
Who,
so much.
I have to say right off the bat, is actually not the real Jedi Jack.
Nope.
Do you have the real Jedi Jack with you there today?
I do. He's right
Jedi
there.
Jack!
There he is! So we should be calling you Jedi Jason, but we'll call you Jedi Jack.
Either one's fine. I'll answer.
What about
Jason?
JJ?
JJ?
That too.
JJ? All right.
JJ, thank you so much for being on the show today. Huge honor. We're all huge fans. You know how this works. 12 minutes. Let's go. So, like I said, you're a jack of all trades. You do toy photography. You do amazing dios. And you're a cosplayer. Now, that's just kind of summing you up like this. But why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
I got into it just kind of like everybody else. It kind of just stumbled into the thing, and I started seeing a bunch of these cool photographs, and I couldn't figure out what movie or show they were coming from, and then come to find out it was toy photography. So I said I didn't know that was a thing. So I bought a few current figures at the time and stuff, and tried my hand in it, and had a lot of fun, and then I kept seeing awesome sets and these dios, and I see dial makers, and I'm like, man, it seems like a lot of money, it's just to order something, kind of unseen. I was like, well, let me try my hand at making some, So I started making some, and then somebody hit me up, was like, hey, I seen that dial you made. You think you can make me one? And then it just ran away from there.
That's awesome.
So,
That's amazing, man.
I'm making it up as I go. I'd never made dios before in my life. My artistic stuff was like, of course, when I was younger, I wanted to draw comics just like every other nerd. And then, I was a musician for a real long time. I, haven't really done anything professionally other than just, pick up my stuff once in a while. But I kind of fell out of doing anything artistic. I'd never done photography whatsoever. Didn't have a clue on how to approach it at all. And, I'm learning every day. It's one of the reasons why the weekly collaboration I have running, it focuses around picking every week focuses around picking one area of photography to work on.
I see.
So yeah, the collaboration is a Hell's Kitchen collaboration. So it focuses on Daredevil, but each week we pick. I designate one thing to work on, whether it's a certain pose or using like a single light source one week. We got different things coming up in the future with, a specific camera angle. And this way everybody gets to work on that one thing that maybe they never work at.
That's cool.
Right?
I suck at that, like the very first week we did portraits, and I wanted to do that because I suck at like trying to take a portrait shot. I wanted to work on that. And I even had guys messaging me on the side who were really great photographers go, dude, I suck at, doing portraits. And I went, yeah, good.
That's the point.
Doing this. Yeah. I was like, let's work at it. Let's get better. And everyone that's, been involved and has done it weekly has, messaged me on the side or, in our group chats and just says, man, I've learned a lot in like 3 weeks. Like I've gotten better. Just from doing this, having to focus and having to work on a specific thing instead of just doing what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite thing that you've worked on, or I should say theme that you've been running? What's the one that you enjoy the most?
The ones that are easy.
I thought the point was to challenge yourself.
No, I like the I liked last week we did like a it was supposed to be like an acrobatic or aerial type pose. So like just working on like more dynamic posing and stuff. I always think that's fun because you can, as long as your pose is, you know, really dynamic, the rest of your shot really doesn't matter. Like you can have a completely blank background and just have a really great angle on a dynamic pose and, you know, and make that figure come to life.
Right.
So
speaking of the Hell's Kitchen collaboration, you were wearing a Daredevil hat, a Daredevil shirt. We called you JJ at the beginning of the show, but really we should be calling you DD because really, besides being blind or not being blind, you are Daredevil.
I don't know about that.
Well, I've seen pictures, and I mean, you've got the build. I assume you can do bat flips. I assume you go out at night and are a vigilante crime fighter.
Wait a minute. Are you an attorney during the day?
I'm not.
Oh.
But I might be a crime fighter during the day. How's that?
Hey, cool. That'll
There
work. Did you get into cosplay before the toy photography, or was
completely after?
Yeah.
My girlfriend, she's definitely my full-time partner on the Dio stuff. She does a lot of the work.
Oh wow.
As well. And actually she's an excellent photographer. And I actually picked her brain. She went to her college scholarship was on photography, you know. So so I pick her brain on that stuff all the time, and she's really talented, even though she's like, nah, I suck, you know. But we were just doing stuff, and she's like, hey, let's try making some costumes, you know, for like cosplay, because we were going to do like a setting up a booth at a Comic-Con, and then like we just kind of like had so much fun with it, like we're always trying to like come up with something else to work on or do. So, you know, and it's like the skills that we developed doing the dios bleed right over into the cosplay stuff, you know, all the detail and the painting and learning how to work with different materials and stuff.
So do you dress up as something different all the time, or are you always Daredevil? Or
I've been doing like Daredevil, you know, pretty much consistently. I'll just have like some different Daredevil outfits and stuff, but
all of which are spectacular.
Only thing that I hear is we should call you Jedi Mind Trick for tricking your girlfriend into doing all this for you.
No, she's every bit of a nerd. You know, she's big time into like her things like Lord of the Rings, Nintendo stuff like Link and everything, and Zelda.
Awesome.
You know, and so like that was actually one of the first cosplay things we were making. She's like, I want a suit of armor. I was like, okay, let's make a suit of armor, you know, and we tried it and it didn't come out great, but we learned a lot in the process. So
right.
You know, and that's been fun. No, she's I mean, she's right there with me on all this stuff. Like she loves going to the Comic-Cons and hanging out at the booth, and you know,
that's awesome.
Dressing up, and you know, she's always like, I get a box of figures. She's like, "Ooh, what'd you get?" You know, she's like, stuff out. She's opening packages before me and stuff. And
heck yeah! All right, guys, we're running out of time, so we got to take a look at one of your shots. Right. And surprise, surprise. It's a Daredevil shot.
Wow. What a great shot, though.
Oh, man.
I know, right?
Talk about dynamic posing. Here you go.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about this beauty.
This one actually I stumbled on because I had done a shot previously with that same pose, but shot from a completely different angle. So as I was like kind of like disassembling that shot, I was kind of like, you know, twirling the figure around, and it gave me a different look, you know, looking this way. And I went, oh man, it's almost like he's like, you know, dodging something out of the way. So I just was like, I got that bullseye with the throwing knife hand. And, you know, I just kind of like set it up and, you know, hit some lights on it. And I was like, took it and went, wow, that was easy. That came out great. You know, I wish they were all that painless, you know?
Yeah.
It definitely gives me the Matrix, you know, rooftop.
Yeah. You know, and I was trying to think that whole thing, you know, like if you read Daredevil comics, you know, it's his like 360 radar, you know, he kind of knows where things are like almost all the time.
Right.
Which would kind of be like a blessing and a curse. I mean, I would think that would drive you nuts.
Good point.
But, you know,
so but it works for this shot. That's for sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Man.
So did you make this dio too? Like everything in the background, those oil.
The props I made, but like the one building back there is like an extreme sets, and they were like the first things I bought, and the company makes great stuff. I will not knock it whatsoever. I think it's really good for if you can have like a permanent setup, or maybe you're not shooting stuff all the time, or you're wanting to do like a display. But like somebody for like me that I'm constantly like taking stuff down and apart and putting stuff away, and it the cardboard just doesn't hold up over time.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But
I found they're definitely good to have just as an option, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you find that since you make a lot of dios and sell a lot of dios, you don't have a lot of your own
Correct.
dios?
Correct.
Yeah.
Most of the time when I do get something for myself, it's usually if someone orders something and then decides after it's done, they're like, yeah, I don't want to pay for it, and I'm like,
oh,
okay.
Really? You're like, oh, sweet, I'll keep it.
Exactly what I'm like. All right, cool. I got me a dio. Because I don't often get to build ones for myself, and then it's kind of sucks right now. We did a Comic-Con back in early spring, early summer. I can't remember exactly when.
Jedi Jack, you're gonna have to wrap up the memory because it is hot seat time.
Okay.
Sorry, it's hot time for the hot seat. You'll tell us after the show. Okay. Favorite dio that you've built?
The one I did for Savage Crucible, which was this big snake temple it was like the worldwide contest for that thing. So and we took second place with it, so I was pretty happy with that.
Favorite version of Daredevil across comics, any type of media?
I mean, the Charlie Cox Netflix one has been, spectacular. I think it sums up the largest range of Daredevil.
Excellent. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you want to live?
Right where I'm at. I'm very happy here.
Oh, good to hear.
I'm happy. And I've been other places, so I'm good here.
Who is Daredevil's most worthy opponent?
Ooh. You can't really throw it up there because like Fisk is Kingpin's like the mental polar opposite, whereas like Bullseye is definitely the physical opposite. Elektra's always been his emotional opposite, and I think that was kind of like why each of those work is there weren't just one thing, and why you could have those different kind of characters.
One more, Jay. Go.
Favorite food? Hurry.
Tacos.
Thank you so much for coming on.
I know you're waiting for the